What's up, guys? This is Damien J, and this is the morning drive for May 3rd, 2024. I had to think about it. 2024. How goes it? How are you? Good to hear. I promise the show is back. I already did a commentary video on a video that I did a long time ago. People who only call when they need something. If you guys check that out, appreciate you. Talked to a lot of people that I talked to in the past, and got that taken care of. I have a feeling that the mic is in the way, but I'm using this first show to test out all the equipment. I have a feeling that all of this you can see. Working on it, man. I got some new gear. You can see that I got a lavalier. I don't know how to say it. I have a microphone that's supposed to help me out here. I have a GoPro holder that is on there with a suction cup. I used a wet rag to get it on there because the suction cup wouldn't just suction to the cup. So here we are. What has happened in the last few years since you saw me? Well, I think the last time you might have saw me was when I was finishing my degree, leaving New Mexico. I think I did a few videos here in Colorado for Highlight and things like that, and kind of went away from the original format of the show, which was me driving. But no worries, you won't always have to hear me driving through all of these Colorado potholes. The show is going to be changing a bit. To give you an idea of what it's going to be changing into, look no further than what's going on the page right now. I'm going to be doing more reviews. I'm going to be doing more car rants. So you're going to get some of the car stuff. You're going to get some hopefully better produced things. And you might be asking yourself, Damien, why did you decide that you wanted to start doing this stuff again? Well, the reason why I decided to do it is because I want to create a portfolio. So that is what themorningdrive.co is now. It is basically my portfolio. It's going to be all of the work that I've done, whether that's here on this channel, whether it's on my other channel, which is Bourbon Bass and Barbells, which, by the way, does have some new content up on it as well. Just recently, I reviewed the Evan Williams single barrel vintage. So you could go check that out. If I can figure out how to put a link to it, maybe I'll do it. I don't know how to do that yet. But what I decided is that I've spent a lot of time in the last 5 years working for an agency, spending a lot of my time working on the successes of other people's pages, of their content, of everything that relates to their own marketing. You know, taking clients with 100 followers and getting them up to 10,000, sometimes 100,000 followers, getting them from 0 page views to hundreds of thousands of page views a year. And what I decided is that why can't I just spend a little time and do that for me? So in my free time, I've been trying to be a little bit more motivated. And for those of you who have watched the show long enough, these things for me come in spurts. I do well for a while, and then I stop doing the thing. Let me take a drink. I could edit this out, can't I? I can if I'm not lazy. We'll see. So I decided that I really want to focus on building a brand, and who knows what'll come of it. You know, I'm not saying that I'm going to have 10,000 followers or any amount of followers. I think this page has 317 followers. This page has been open for 9 years. What started as me just screaming in my car while driving through traffic and talking about things that bothered me and rants and all that stuff. It evolved into things, right? It evolved into a review page. It evolved into a separate bourbon page. I'm what they call a serial entrepreneur. I have all these ideas and I never follow through. And what I realized recently is that I might have a touch of the, not TISM, but the ADHD. And with ADHD, you have to, especially as an adult, and you don't want to take medication to do it. You have to start putting in routines that you force yourself to do. I was telling somebody the other day, even when I make coffee in the house, I have this routine where we have an island in the center of our, and this is, maybe I'll take a picture and add it so you can see what I'm talking about. But we have this center island. On one side is the sink, on the other side is the refrigerator and the coffee machine. And I tend to space out when I'm doing stuff. I tend to try to do 5 or 6 things at a time. And what I've realized is that if I just organize all of those things into individual steps, even though I'm doing 4 different tasks, I'm actually completing it in a manner where it makes sense. So what I've done is I've kind of tapped into how to maneuver around it. My wife, for the last 5 weeks now, has been making me drink more water to my benefit, which is kind of funny because I always make fun of people who drink too much water. I'm actually trying to drink whatever your weight is, you take and turn that number into ounces, and then half of that is how much water you're supposed to drink every day. So I bought a hydrate bottle, which is back here because I'm drinking this right now. I'll review that as well. I have a hydrate bottle. It flashes. It tells me when to drink water. I log all the water that I drink in a day. I log all the drinks that I have in a day, whether it's my pre-workout drink, whether it's Gatorade when I'm at the gym, whether it's my protein shake. No matter what it is that I'm drinking, I log. So that step has led to this weird thing that's happened to me in the last 3 weeks. In the last 3 weeks, I've been hyper focused on getting things done for some reason. I don't know if it's the water. I'm also taking one of those divorced daddy supplements that me and my wife like to call, because the ads always say divorced daddy summer. I think the name of the company's Alpha Lion. And I haven't bought their stuff. I actually bought one of their competitors, which is Blue Star, which I think is funny because I was this close to pulling the trigger on Alpha Lion, and then I got swayed by another ad. It's always funny to me being a marketer when I get swayed by marketing. I'm just like, oh, you freaking douche, you fell for it. I always just kind of laugh at myself like, you fell for it. Like, you're a marketer. You should know better than to buy these, $70 quick purchases. But this is month 2 of taking Blue Star. I think, what is it called? I don't know. It's probably some close to testosterone word that they use, like surge or growth or some crazy crap. I don't know, but I've been taking that, been hydrated, been taking that, been super motivated. Like I said, the last 3 weeks I did a review video for you guys of me going and watching that video of people who only call when they need something. I did a whole reaction video because I hadn't watched it since basically I taped it and didn't get the sound right. So something that I learned from watching Humphrey Yang's channel, and I don't know if any of you are into Humphrey Yang, but he's a finance guy. And he said the way he became successful in YouTube was consistency. He just showed up. And I was like, man, that's all I need to do, is I just need to learn how to show up for me. I show up for my clients. I show up to my job. I show up for my wife. I show up at home. I show up at the gym. It's time to start showing up for me. Build something bigger than just myself. And, who knows? Maybe nothing comes of it. Maybe I sit at 300 followers for the rest of my life. But until I really start churning out content, even if I could just get 52 pieces of content up this year, 52, be consistent once a week, do that. I'm so much further ahead than I ever was. So I've been working on the blog, locking the doors. There's a white driver over here, so I got to be careful. He might try to rob me. Trying to focus really on being consistent. The last few weeks, I know nobody follows me on LinkedIn on here, but last couple weeks on LinkedIn, I've been posting everything that I've been writing to the blog on the page. I've written 3 blogs. I have a 4th one that, well, technically I've written 4 blogs. I've written 3 blogs. I've written a 4th one that is going to publish on Wednesdays. So on LinkedIn, automatically, I have something that publishes on Wednesdays. Plan on getting, polls up every week. I have one right now. And guess what? Nobody's even said anything to it. It's been up for 2 days. Nobody's answered any of the questions in my poll. And I'm not going to let that get to me anymore. I think, and I wrote about this, and you can go check it out on the blog. It's a thing that says your friends aren't your fans. And I think that's an important thing to learn for all of us, is that your friends are not your fans. Your friends shouldn't be the ones that you rely on to get you those clicks. You shouldn't be putting this out for them. I know for a fact from Google Analytics that 53 people have read my blog on the Evan Williams single barrel, because I know how to optimize it. My website's been long enough where it can get some traction. I barely put that up a week ago, and I've already got 52 people to look at it. From the engagement time, I can tell that people have read it. So the bottom line to what I'm saying right now is that that's 50 in a week. And if I can be consistent, and if I can keep showing up, and I can tell you right now, that review is probably not very good. My palate for bourbon hasn't been very refined lately, because I've been drinking all of my favorite bourbons. That's all I've been drinking. I've been drinking nothing but my favorite ones. I haven't been really writing down the notes of them like I did, a year ago, 2 years ago, when I first started the bourbon page, where my palate was like really, really refined. I could sit down and I could taste any Elijah Craig, I would say, in the last, 4 releases at the time, from our 19s to our 20s of the barrel proofs, and I could pick each one of them out. We just had an advent calendar 4 months ago, 5 months ago now, it's actually May, and I couldn't figure out which one was which. I didn't know what tasted like what. My whole palate forgot. And that goes back to consistency. I'm not saying drink till you're an alcoholic by any means, but it's like the things that you love, if you're really actively taking part in them and revising it and looking at it, then you're gonna learn more. And I was in a great place where, I'm not gonna be one of these top reviewers. I'm not gonna be Jason C from Mash and Drum. I'm not gonna be what's his face from ADHD Whiskey. I'm not gonna be like the old fella and his son. I'm not gonna be any of those things, right? But I can be me. And if I show up every day, if I put in the work, if I be consistent, I have to believe that I'm going to get better and better at this thing. It's the formula that people tell us all the time. So hopefully, let's just say for a benchmark, if I can stay consistent like I am right now for at least 1 year, just one, I should be able to at least double my numbers, right? I should be able to say, okay, I have 317 followers today. How many am I going to have yet next year? I should have at least 600. And I would say if I could be this consistent in 5 years, that should be exponential growth. And the only way I'm going to learn, the only way I'm going to get better is going to be to do a video where I spend 30 minutes on a weekend watching it, and then I go to start editing it and find out that I haven't been recording the damn sound the entire time. And that's how you get better. You get better because you have to take that L. You have to fail in order to get better. No one ever got good at something by quitting. Ever. And maybe that's what this whole journey has taken me to learn. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, everything that I've fucking learned in this time of being a digital marketer, everything that I've learned, if I put any of those efforts into it, I can only imagine where I'd be. We were talking about my website and, themorningdrive.co. This year I let it expire in like January. In those 4 months from January to April, when I restarted the site, because like I said, I've been working on this for at least like the last 3 or 4 weeks now, is I think it was 30,000 impressions on my page. And we always tell clients all the time, you know what a good click-through rate is for any website, according to Google? It's 1%. If you can get to 1%, you're doing well in Google's eyes. Google is looking at you going, man, okay, you're starting to resonate. You're starting to get good click-through. And then from that click-through, if you can get people to do the action that you want them to do, even better. I don't have any actions that I want them to do. You know, sometimes I want them to watch a YouTube video. Sometimes I want them to click on my Instagram page and follow me on Instagram. Whatever that thing is, haven't really focused on it. Haven't really taken any accountability there. But the main thing is that in the last year of me not even touching the site, by the way, this is just the content that lived on it, doing its thing through these small, very small optimizations that I made, was gaining 30,000 impressions and 1% click-through. It's actually 1.8. So almost 2% of everybody who came, who searched something on the internet, went to my page to go find the answer for that thing. And like I said, in the last couple of weeks, I did that Evan Williams review. I did it solely because I knew nobody else had reviewed that bottle yet. People have since, and they're going to beat me. And they're going to beat me if they write a blog. Is 50 views already. I already told you at the beginning of the show, like 50 views. I'm already sitting in a place where I'm seeing the work that I did in the past helping the work that I'm doing currently. So if I can just sit down, be consistent, do the work, put in the work, show up every day like I tell people to do all the time. Show up, do the work. I tell people who I work with all the time, show up, do the work, be consistent. If I can just listen to myself, maybe, just maybe, I can be where I want to be. So again, it's a long road, man. Like, you know, I'm talking about being consistent for a year, and I've done this in the past. I've done this in the past where I've stayed consistent for weeks. But now I'm really taking accountability of how much I can be consistent on a longer timeline. And what I mean by a longer timeline is obviously, you know what a longer timeline is. I don't need to explain that. What it is to be consistent in a longer timeline and in multiple things. So if you get a chance, go check out the blog where I talk about how your friends aren't your fans. For the people who aren't going to go there, it's basically what I said. Don't worry about them. Just be consistent. Do the thing because you like to do the thing. I like doing this. I truly do like just kind of fucking talking. I like to talk. And quite frankly, maybe it takes some load off my wife so she doesn't have to hear me fucking yip yap all the time, right? Gives her a little break from hearing Damien. So, end of the day, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sink some time into these reviews. I'm doing a review on my bag right now. I'm doing a review on the water. I've already shot all the B-roll for it, by the way. I'm shooting some more B-roll because I just got the bag yesterday, but I shot all the pre-B-roll. I shot it for that. I shot it for the hydrate. I've shot it for, some previous things that I've done. I went back and I took some... What's up, guys? If you didn't figure it out, the audio and video cut out because the camera got too hot. As I said, this is going to be some trial and error, bringing the show back, doing this on a GoPro. The heat got to it and decided to go ahead and conk out on me. Quite frankly, I probably should have shut my mouth as I was pulling into the gym because it sounded like I was wrapping up. And then I started going on and on about doing B-roll, about all these other projects. I think the biggest thing to take away from here is, like I said at the top of the video, it's about staying consistent. All I need to do is keep showing up, and here I am. I showed up. Didn't want to, quite frankly. Hung out with a friend last night, did a little drinking, was way hungover this morning, and fought through it. Got my butt in here. I already posted a video on bourbon-based barbells. It was a video from actually a few years back where I did the Infinity Stones
as I like to call them, the Mash Bill 2 of Buffalo Trace. Did a review of that, so that's sitting over there. Again, just staying consistent. So coming in, editing this, just doing the work and putting in the work. So anybody out there that I hope the one thing that you can take away from this is keep trying, keep being consistent. Who knows, maybe, a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, there's a YouTube plaque on my wall back there. Lofty goal, but hey, it's all about consistency. So I wish the same luck for all of you who are trying. And as always, thanks for riding with me. What drives you?